Models means in the stepwise finite element analysis process, we have studied what was the first step. First step was to discretization. Second step was selection of displacement model. No. Second step was selection of displacement model. Okay. So in selection of displacement model, we can select different types of displacement model. Here what happens in finite element analysis, the displacement variation inside the element is unknown. Okay? The displacement variation inside the element is unknown. Because of that, what happens? We cannot assume how the displacement is varying. We don't know how the displacement is varying inside the element. So what we can do is we can go for this assumption, making assumption that whether the displacement is varying linearly or whether the displacement is varying quadratically. Like that, we will assume different types of interpolation models. Okay. So here, the basic idea of the finite element method is piecewise approximation. That is, the solution of a complicated problem is obtained by dividing the region or given continuum into small regions. This I told no in discretization. In discretization, what we do? We divide the body into the finite number of elements. Okay, we'll divide the body into the finite number of elements. Then after that, okay. So first we divide the body into finite number of elements. For each element, we will be calculating the unknowns separately. Means we'll writing down the equations for each unknown separately. Then we'll solve for each element. Then we'll combine the solution. That is the concept of finite element method. Okay. So when you are dividing the body into finite number of elements, the displacement variation in each element is unknown. How the displacement is varying in each element, it is completely unknown. So what we do is we'll assume the displacement variation is varying like either a polynomial or it may be like a trigonometric function. Like that, we are going to assume that the displacement variation is varying like this. So that assumption is called as whatever the displacement variation what you assume, those equations are called as interpolation models or interpolation functions. Okay. So the function assumed to represent the behavior of the solution within an element are called interpolation functions, or they are also called as approximation functions or interpolation models. Okay. So whatever function we assume for a displacement model, those are called as interpolation models. Okay. So what are the different types of functions that can be assumed? Mainly we are discussing about polynomial type of displacement function. So you know the polynomial, no? X plus y plus z plus x square plus xy plus xz. This type of functions are called as polynomial functions in terms of x, y, and z. If it is a one dimensional, it will be x a plus bx plus cx square plus dx cube, like that. If it is a two dimensional, both x and y parameters will be there. If it is a three dimensional, x, y, and z, all three parameters will be there in the polynomial. That you will see it later here. So polynomial types of interpolation functions are most widely used because of the following advantages. What are the advantages if you assume a polynomial functions? First one is polynomial functions are inherently continuous. You have studied no continuity and discontinuity and continuous functions in mathematics. There, what do you mean by continuous function? Continuous function means, for example, suppose a y is equal to f of x is a function which is continuous, then at each and every value of x, there will be a value of y. At each and every value of x, there will be a value for y. There is no any discontinuity. Okay. Then we call that type of functions as continuous functions. For example, I'll show you. Suppose you plot y versus x. Suppose y is equal to f of x is a function, a polynomial which is continuous. Then whatever value of x you will take, for every value of x you will get the value of y, like this. There is no any discontinuity. Discontinuity means what? Up to this there may be value of y, from here to there may not be any value of y existing for value of x, and from here again the value of y will be existing. These are called as discontinuous functions. But if you take a polynomial function, it is always continuous. Means what? For every value of x there is a value of y, and they are continuous like this, attached to each other like this. If you plot y versus x, you will get a continuous curve or continuous line. Then that type of functions are called as continuous functions. Okay. So one major advantage of polynomial functions is it is inherently continuous. So it is always a continuous function. Hence polynomial functions are best suited as a displacement models. And one more advantage is that it is easier to formulate and computerize the finite element equations with polynomial type interpolation functions. Suppose a polynomial interpolation function is there. Suppose let us take y is equal to, say, a plus bx plus suppose cx square. Like this, a polynomial function you have assumed. So differentiation and integration of this function is very easier, no? You study differentiation and integration. So what is the differentiation? Dy by dx is equal to what? Constant is 0. So b into x, differentiation of x is 1. Differentiation of x square is 2x. Okay. So like that, differentiation is very easier. Similarly, integration is also very easier. How? What is the integration of x? X square by 2, no?
2.
X raised to n. What is the integration of x raised to n? X raised to n plus 1 by n plus 1. So integration of x is x square by 2. Then integration of x square is x cube by 3. And integration of just a constant is ax. Like that. So what does it mean? If you use a polynomial function, then differentiation and integration is very easier. That is one more advantage, because in finite element method you will come across differentiation and integrations. So because the main differential models are, they are differential equations only. So you are required to differentiate and integrate. And as polynomial functions are easy to differentiate and integrate, because differentiation of any polynomial is x square is 2x, means x raised to n is what? N into x raised to n minus 1. And what is the integration of x raised to n? X raised to n plus 1 by n plus 1. So if suppose instead of polynomial, suppose you assume a trigonometric function like sin x plus cos x, then differentiation and integration becomes very difficult, no? And integration, differentiation may be easier, but integration will become very, very difficult. So that is why we always use polynomial as the displacement model. Why? First advantage is that they are inherently continuous. Then second advantage is that it is easier to calculate by using polynomials. That is, the differentiation and integration of polynomials are very easier. Then one more advantage is that, the third advantage by using polynomial function is that, in order to, I told that finite element method is a this numerical method, no? As it is a numerical method, so whatever solution you are getting is an approximate solution. So in order to improve the accuracy, what you are doing? One is, we'll divide the body into more number of elements. Okay. So what we do? We divide the body into more number of elements. And another one is that instead of dividing the body into more number of elements, we'll keep the number of elements same, but will increase the order of the polynomial assumed in displacement model. Suppose in displacement model, initially suppose we have taken a linear function, that is pi of x is equal to a naught plus a1x. Then in order to improve the accuracy, instead of this is a linear equation. Instead of this, we'll go for a quadratic equation. Then it will be more accurate. Instead of quadratic equation, if you go for a cubic equation, that is plus a3 into x cube. Suppose instead of a quadratic equation, if you go for a cubic equation, that is a3 into x cube, then it will be more accurate than this quadratic equation, like that. Okay. For example, you can see here itself. See here that here this one. If you see this, suppose we have assumed a constant as the displacement model, then what will be the equation? Suppose displacement model is pi of x. So pi of x is equal to a naught. Then how to plot this constant? It will be just a horizontal line. But exact solution, if you see, it will be like this. This is the solution from FEM. When you are assuming a constant as a displacement model. Okay. So you are getting a horizontal line. So there is a lot of difference between this exact solution and solution from finite element method. Then instead of constant, suppose you go for a linear equation, that is a naught plus a1x you have added for displacement model. Then what happens? How will be the equation? It will be a straight line, but not exactly horizontal or vertical. It will be at an angle. You see here that this is more accurate compared to this one, no? Because it is matching with the exact solution. This is the exact solution by using analytical method, and this dotted line is the solution by using FEM. And you can see that this line is more accurate, means FEM solution in this, when you assume a linear equation, is more accurate compared to FEM solution by using a constant equation. Then instead of linear, suppose you again increase the order to a quadratic equation, that is a naught plus a1x is there, plus a2x square you have used, means you have assumed the displacement model to be a quadratic. Then what happens? Here you see the dotted line. Dotted line is almost matching the exact solution, no? So dotted line is the FEM solution and continuous line is the exact solution. So it is almost matching, means what? Accuracy is more in this case. Means what does it mean? By increasing the order of the polynomial, you can able to increase the accuracy of the solution in FEM. Instead of quadratic equation, if you go for a cubic equation, means if you take one more term, that is plus a3x cube, then what happens? Even this dotted line will be more closer to this continuous line than this one, than quadratic. Okay. Means what does it mean? In FEM, you can able to improve the accuracy by using two methods. One is by increasing the number of elements used, means suppose initially you have divided the body into say 2 elements, then what you do? Increase the number of elements. Instead of 2, you go for 3, 5, 10, 15 elements, 20 elements, 100 elements, 200 elements, 500 elements, like that. If you go on increasing the number of elements for division, there also the accuracy of the solution will improve. But I told that calculation time will also increases. You have to compromise between those two. And suppose there is one more method, that is by increasing the order of the polynomial assumed in the displacement model. This is one more method to improve the accuracy. That is by increasing the order of polynomial assumed in the displacement model, you can able to increase the accuracy. So you have to choose any one method, either by increasing the number of elements or by increasing the order of the polynomial. When you increase the order of the polynomial, those elements are called as higher order elements. Okay. And means by using the higher order elements, you can able to get the more accuracy. Then let us move on to the next. Here you can see that when the interpolation polynomial is of order 1, the element is termed a linear element. That is, for example, see here. Suppose interpolation polynomial is of order 1 like this, phi of x is equal to a0 plus a1x. Then this type of elements, the elements which use this type of displacement model, they are termed as linear element. Okay, they are termed as linear element. Okay, then a linear element is called as a simplex element if the number of nodes in the element is 2, 3, and 4 in 1, 2, and 3 dimension respectively. You just observe these three figures. These are called as linear elements. So this is a linear bar element. This is a linear bar element. This is a linear triangular element. That is in 2 dimension. In 2 dimensions, suppose you want to assume a linear displacement model, then you will get this type of element, that is linear triangular element. And in 3 dimension, it will be a linear tetrahedral elements. These are the elements which we have discussed already in types of elements. So in types of elements, suppose only 2 nodes are there in a line element. In a 1-dimensional element, suppose only 2 nodes are there at the ends, then it is called as a linear bar element. Okay, see here. Number of nodes in element is 2 in 1 dimension, 3 in 2 dimension, that is in triangular element. Triangular element is a basic 2-dimensional element. And suppose only corner nodes are there and only 3 nodes are there, then this type of triangular element is called as a linear triangular element. Means the displacement model assumed for this triangular element is a linear polynomial. Here also the displacement model assumed for this bar element is a linear polynomial. Okay. And this is called as a tetrahedron element. And if only end nodes are there, means only 4 nodes are there, 1, 2, 3, 4, then this is called as a linear tetrahedron element. Okay. So tetrahedron element is used in 3-dimensional analysis, okay, for solids. Okay. And if the interpolation polynomial is of order 2 or more, the element is known as higher order element. If the interpolation polynomial is of order 2, then the element is called as a quadratic element. Suppose you insert one more node here in the center. It is called as a quadratic bar element. So this is node number 1, this is node number 2. We have introduced one more node, that is node number 3. It is a single element. They are not 2 elements. It is a single element with 3 nodes. This is called as a quadratic bar element. Means what? The displacement polynomial assumed for this bar element is a quadratic polynomial. Similarly, for triangular element also, suppose instead of only 3 nodes, if you are introducing the mid nodes here, here, and here, then it is called as a quadratic triangular element. Similarly, for tetrahedron elements also, if you introduce mid nodes or internal nodes, they are called, it is called as a quadratic tetrahedron element. Quadratic means what? The polynomial assumed is, the displacement model assumed is a quadratic polynomial. Okay. Then it is called as a quadratic element. And here you can see that here for a quadratic element, and these quadratic element or cubic element, those are called as higher order elements. If it is a linear polynomial, they are called as a linear element. If instead of linear, if you go for higher orders, that is quadratic, cubic, they are called as higher order elements. Okay. Instead of quadratic, you can go for cubic also. Cubic means how many will be there? There will be 2 internal nodes. If number of nodes in an element goes on increasing, the order of the polynomial assumed will also goes on increasing. So it is a single element, 1, 2, this is node number 3, and this is node number 4. This is called as a cubic bar element. Means what? The displacement model assumed for this element is a cubic polynomial. Similarly, cubic triangular element and cubic tetrahedron elements will be there by increasing the number of nodes. Okay. Okay. Then let us discuss about polynomial form of interpolation functions. So how the polynomials can be assumed means whatever the polynomials you will assume, how it should look like. That is called as a polynomial form of interpolation functions. If a polynomial type of variation is assumed, means what? Whatever the displacement variation in the element is assumed to be a polynomial type, then in a one-dimensional element, then displacement model will be given like this. That is, pi of x is equal to alpha plus alpha 1 plus alpha 2x plus alpha 3x square plus dash 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 up to alpha m into x raised to n. This is a polynomial in one dimension because it contains only x terms. No, it contains only x terms with powers. Okay. Suppose you want a linear, what you do? You use only two terms, alpha 1 plus alpha 2 into x. Suppose you want a quadratic polynomial, you go for three terms, alpha 1 plus alpha 2x plus alpha 3x square. Suppose you want to assume a cubic polynomial, then you go for four terms, that is alpha 1 plus alpha 2x plus alpha 3x square plus alpha 4x cube. Like that, suppose you want a polynomial of n or nth order, then you have to assume a polynomial like this. Is it clear now? This is for one-dimensional element, okay, because it contains only x term. Similarly, in 2 and 3-dimensional finite element, the polynomial form of interpolation function will be like this. In 2 dimension, it should contain both x and y terms. No, suppose it is a linear, means what? The order of the highest order should be equal to 1, or highest power should be equal to 1. So hence, for a linear polynomial in 2 dimension, what should be the polynomial? Alpha 1 plus alpha 2x plus alpha 3y. You can see that the highest order is equal to 1. So it is a linear polynomial in 2 dimension. That is, for example, for a triangular element, a linear triangular element, you can assume this displacement model. That is alpha 1 plus alpha 2x plus alpha 3y. Suppose you want to go for a quadratic polynomial, means a quadratic triangular element in 2 dimension, then the highest order should be equal to 2. Then how it will be? The polynomial will be pi of xy is equal to alpha 1 plus alpha 2x plus alpha 3y plus alpha 4x square plus alpha 5y square plus alpha 6xy. Okay. If you see the order, highest order is equal to 1. Here it is x raised to 1 and y raised to 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. And here you can see that x square, y square. So highest order for this one is 2. So it is a quadratic polynomial in 2 dimension. If you want a quadratic polynomial in 1 dimension, it will be only up to this one. If you want a quadratic polynomial in 2 dimension, it will be up to this one. Suppose cubic polynomial you want, what it should be? Up to this one plus alpha 7 into x cube plus alpha 8 into x, y cube plus alpha 9 into x square y plus alpha 10 into xy square, like that. Cubic polynomial in 2 dimension. Similarly, if you want to analyze a 3-dimensional object, then 3-dimensional element has to be used, and the polynomial form in 3-dimensional will be equal to, it should contain the terms of x, y and z, all three. So linear polynomial will be, suppose a linear tetrahedron element is there, then how you will assume the displacement model? Linear element, that is the power should be maximum, highest power should be equal to 1. That is alpha 1 plus alpha 2x plus alpha 3y plus alpha 4z. So instead of linear, Suppose you want a quadratic tetrahedron element or quadratic polynomial in 3 dimension, then it should be alpha 1 plus alpha 2x plus alpha 3y plus alpha 4z plus alpha 5x square plus alpha 6y square plus alpha 7z square plus alpha 8xy plus alpha 9yz plus alpha 10zx. Up to this point you have to take and you have to stop here. It is a quadratic polynomial in 3 dimension. Okay. Where what are these alpha 1, alpha 2? They are the coefficients of the polynomial, and n is the degree or order of the polynomial. N is the degree or order of the polynomial, and m is the number of coefficients. That is, this alpha 1, alpha 2 is there, no? It will be m. So m will be equal to what? N minus 1. Sorry, n plus 1. See here. M is starting from here. That is alpha 1. For n is equal to 1, m is equal to what? 2. 1 and 2 are there. Hence, for nth order of the polynomial, m will be equal to n plus 1. Okay. So n is the degree of the polynomial or order of the polynomial, and m is the number of polynomial coefficients. Okay. So let us write down it. For linear model or linear element, for n is equal to 1, that is for a linear element, whether it is a linear bar element or linear triangular element or linear tetrahedron element. How it should be? For one dimensional case, we will be using only 2 terms, no? That is pi of x is equal to alpha 1 plus alpha 2 x. How the element will look like? It is a linear bar element. Means a bar element having 2 nodes, here and here. Then 2-dimensional case, that is a linear triangular element. How the linear triangular element will be? This is a linear triangular element. That is, this is a linear bar element and this is linear triangular element. Similarly, in 3-dimensional case, that is for a linear tetrahedron element, how it will look like? Linear tetrahedron element. Tetrahedron means what? It is a element with 4 triangular surfaces. Tetra means 4. Hedron means faces. So it is having 4 triangular faces. Then it is called as a tetrahedron element. Okay. That is, this is a for a linear case. Then for quadratic model, that is 1-dimensional case. It is a quadratic bar element. For 1-dimensional case means it is a quadratic bar element. So it will look like this. Just now I have showed, no? It will have, along with end nodes, it will have mid nodes also. This is a quadratic bar element. This is node number 1, this is node number 2, and this is node number 3. This is a 1-dimensional quadratic element. That is quadratic bar element. Then 2-dimensional case means it is a quadratic triangular element. So the polynomial will be like this. Here you can see. That is for a triangular element, the maximum power, you can see that for a quadratic bar element it is 2. And as it is a 1-dimensional case, so it contains only x terms. 2-dimensional case, it will contain both x and y terms. That is why alpha 1 plus alpha 2x plus alpha 3y plus additionally alpha 4x square plus alpha 5y square plus alpha 6xy. Like this you have to assume for a quadratic triangular element. Okay. So quadratic triangular element means triangular element with the end nodes and also internal nodes. Okay. Here is a triangular element with the, these are the internal nodes along with end nodes. Then similarly, for a three-dimensional case, for a quadratic model or quadratic tetrahedron element, then it will contain all three x, y, and z terms. It will look like this. What are the additional terms? Xy, yz, zx, like that. Okay. Then instead of quadratic triangular element, suppose for a cubic elements, that is cubic bar element, cubic triangular element, and cubic tetrahedron element, it will look like this. In one dimensional case, alpha 1 plus alpha 2x plus alpha 3x square plus alpha 4 x cube. You have to stop up to x cube, power of 3 for a cubic. And how the bar will look? Along with the end nodes, if only one middle node is introduced, then it will become a quadratic bar element. If two middle nodes are introduced like this, evenly spaced, then it will become a cubic bar element. Is it clear? And for cubic bar element, what will be the displacement model? It will be like this. Phi of x is equal to alpha 1 plus alpha 2x plus alpha 3x square plus alpha 4 x cube. So it is a single element with the 4 nodes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is called as a cubic bar element. Similarly, cubic triangular element will be there, whose displacement polynomial will be like this in terms of x and y. And the maximum order is 3. You can see. Similarly, a cubic tetrahedron element is there. For a three-dimensional case, it will look like this. It will contains all three terms, x, y, and z terms like this. Okay. Let us move on to the next topic, that is simplex, complex, and multiplex elements. Okay. Simplex, complex, and multiplex elements. So simplex elements means what? These are linear elements. The linear elements are called as simplex element. That is linear bar element, linear triangular element, and linear tetrahedron elements given by equations 1, 2, and 3. See here. Given by these equations 1, 2, and 3, their linear displacement models are assumed. No? Then these type of elements are called as linear elements or simplex elements. Okay. Simplex elements or linear elements. So you see here that a linear bar element, a linear triangular element, and this is a linear tetrahedron elements. So these are the basic elements. They are called as simplex elements. Means what? The simplex elements are those for which the approximating polynomial consists of a approximating polynomial consists of a constant and linear terms. Means what? The displacement model assumed is a linear polynomial. Thus, the polynomial given by equations 1, 2, and 3 represent the simplex elements for 1, 2, and 3-dimensional elements. In simplex elements, only the corner of the elements are nodes. Okay? Means what? Nodes are existing only at the ends, like this. Whereas a complex elements means what? These are higher order elements. Okay? And so we will have additional nodes. What is this? This is a quadratic bar element. No, this is a quadratic bar element. So complex elements are those for which the approximating polynomial consists of a quadratic, cubic, and higher order elements. Okay, instead of linear, if you go for higher order elements, those elements are called as complex elements. Okay, higher order elements are nothing but complex elements. So for higher order elements, if you see, these are the polynomials, no? See here, for quadratic, these are the polynomials. For cubic, these are the polynomials. Okay, so these the displacement models given by these polynomials are called as higher order elements, or they are complex elements. Okay, the complex elements are those for which the displacement model assumed is a quadratic or cubic and higher order element terms according to need. Means what? According to accuracy requirement. If you want more accuracy, instead of linear, you go for a quadratic element. Even if you want even more accuracy, instead of quadratic, you go for a cubic element. Instead of if you want even further more accuracy, instead of cubic, you go for this biquadratic, that is raised to 4. Instead of that, biquadratic, if you want even more accuracy, you go for a raised to 5. Polynomial of power raised to 5. Order of polynomial as 5. Then those are called as higher order elements or complex elements. Means the complex elements have the same shapes as that of the simplex element. Means what? A higher order quadratic bar element will be same, but only thing is one additional node is there. Similarly, quadratic triangular element is having same shape, but only thing is additional intermediate nodes will be there here. 3 intermediate extra nodes. And quadratic tetrahedron element, the shape will be same, but only thing is additional nodes, internal nodes will be there. Okay, along with the boundary nodes, additional internal nodes will be there. Okay, those are called as complex elements. Then next one type of element is multiplex elements. Multiplex elements are those whose boundaries are parallel to coordinate axis. Suppose this is x-axis and this is y-axis. If the boundaries, suppose this is a rectangular element, then this side is parallel to x-axis and this side is parallel to y-axis. Then this type of elements are called as multiplex elements. Okay. So complex elements or simplex elements, these are the bar on triangular elements, but these sides are not parallel to x and y axis. They are oriented randomly. When you divide the body, they are oriented randomly. Okay. But whereas for a multiplex elements, what happens? The sides will be always parallel to either x axis or y axis or z axis. If it is a 2-dimensional element, the side will be parallel to x axis and y axis. If it is a 3-dimensional element, it is a brick element. If you take, then sides will be parallel to x axis, y axis, and z axis, like that. Then those types of elements are called as multiplex elements. So this is the example of a multiplex element, 2-dimensional element. Okay. Note that the boundaries of the simplex and complex elements need not be parallel to coordinate axis. The boundaries and simplex and complex elements will not be parallel to x and y axis, but whereas the boundaries of the multiplex elements are parallel to x and y.